A woman I know, she runs strategy for a firm in Midtown, stood in her closet last winter staring at 6 perfectly expensive items laid out on her bed, unable to understand why, on her, the outfit looked cluttered instead of refined. Nothing was cheap. Nothing was wrong individually. And yet a colleague later told her, gently, that she'd looked a little overwhelmed that day. Not unkempt. Overwhelmed. She called me, and what I told her is what I'm telling you. It had nothing to do with the price tags. It was a rule she'd never been taught, one that's governed how the most visually composed people on Earth dress for over 1,000 years. Most women violate it daily without knowing it exists. Today, I'm giving you the whole thing, where it came from, why it works on a biological level, and exactly how to apply it tomorrow morning. Before we go into the details, I have a free gift for you. I've read a lot of comments asking for this, so I built a checklist around it. The Elegant Morning Routine Checklist. 12 rituals of women who are timeless, healthy, and undeniable after 40. It's the morning architecture that puts everything I described today into daily practice. Cortisol protection, protein-first nutrition, movement, silence, grooming standards, and the identity rituals that make all of it sustainable. Every page is a deliberate act of self-respect. See the first link in the description to grab it free, or scan the QR code if you're watching on TV. When you get it, email me your takeaway. I love reading those. Now let's get into today's rule. 1. This isn't style. It's a 1,400-year-old law. Most women assume the 5-color rule is a modern styling trick, something a stylist invented for Pinterest. I'm going to show you the real version. But first, understand where it actually comes from. I learned about this properly at a dinner 2 years ago, seated beside a textile historian who consults for several luxury houses. She told me the rule traces back to Japan's 7th century 12-level cap and rank system, a sumptuary law that dictated, by color, exactly who someone was permitted to be in a room. Color wasn't decoration. It was information, regulated by the state. What survived that law, long after the ranks disappeared, was a deeper instinct. Restraint signals authority. A 2019 study out of Princeton's Department of Psychology found that observers rate individuals wearing 3 or fewer dominant colors as more competent and more trustworthy within 1/10 of a second of seeing them, faster than conscious thought. The brain isn't admiring your taste. It's processing how much effort it costs to understand you. Resolve. The 5-color rule, properly applied, means your entire look, clothing, shoes, bag, accessories, draws from no more than 5 colors total, and ideally 3 to 4. Not 5 colors competing, 5 colors at most, in relationship to each other. Because knowing the number means nothing if you don't understand what actually governs it. Point 2. It was never about which colors, it was about volume. I'm going to show you the actual mechanism. But first, the part nearly everyone misunderstands. Women hear 5 colors and think the rule is about hue selection, picking the right 5. It isn't. The historian I mentioned explained it to me this way. In the original system, what mattered wasn't which color you wore, but how saturated and how loud it was permitted to be relative to your rank. Lower volume signaled higher status. Always. I've watched this play out in real rooms for 15 years. The women in my circles who read as quietly wealthy are almost never wearing the most colors. They're wearing the quietest versions of fewer colors. Muted navy instead of royal blue. Bone instead of stark white. A Harvard Business School study on perceived authority in professional dress found that desaturated, lower contrast palettes were consistently rated as more senior and more credible than identical outfits in saturated high contrast versions, even when the cut and quality of the garments were identical. Think of it the way a chef thinks about salt. The dish isn't better with more. It's better when the existing flavor is allowed to be heard clearly. Color volume works the same way on a body. Resolve. Before you ask which 5 colors, ask how loud is each one. Drop the saturation on every piece by 1 register, and you will look more expensive in the same 5-minute outfit you wore yesterday. But what I just gave you only addresses how a stranger reads your face from across a room. It says nothing yet about what's happening up close, at the one place every conversation actually occurs. Point 3. The color at your jawline is quietly aging. This has nothing to do with finding your season, and I want to be direct about that because that entire framework is incomplete. A dermatologist I know in New York, her client list includes women you'd recognize, told me that the color positioned closest to the face, specifically near the jawline and collarbone, reflects light directly onto the skin and measurably affects how texture, tone, and fine lines are perceived. It isn't about whether you're warm or cool. It's about contrast and reflection. Harsh, high-contrast colors near the jaw, stark black against pale skin, neon against any skin tone, cast shadows that emphasize texture and deepen the appearance of lines. Softer, warmer tones near the face do the opposite. They bounce light upward and visually smooth what's underneath. I tested this myself after that conversation. I own a navy blazer and the exact same blazer in a soft camel. In photographs taken the same hour, same light, same face, the camel version reads younger. Not flattering in a vague way, measurably, visibly younger because of where the light lands. Resolve. Whatever sits within 6 inches of your jawline, scarf, collar, blouse, should be the softest, warmest tone in your 5-color palette. Save your darkest or most saturated color for below the chest, where it adds authority without touching your skin. This is exactly what the Undeniable's complete system covers in detail. 7 complete guides. Identity, presence, first impressions, social mastery, wellness, standards, and your morning ritual. Everything the most elegant, vital, and undeniable version of you need, built into one system for less than a dinner out. It's linked in the description below, or scan the QR code on your screen. But here's where most people stop, believing this is purely about how others perceive them. It isn't. Without the next piece, you're missing what this does to you. 4. A disciplined palette changes what your brain believes you can do. This is the part almost nobody discusses, and it may be the most important loop in this video. A woman in my network, she made partner at a corporate law firm at 38, told me that the year she switched to a disciplined 5-color wardrobe, decision fatigue in the morning all but disappeared, and she noticed something stranger. She felt more decisive in meetings, not just better dressed for them. I didn't think much of it until I came across research from Columbia Business School on a phenomenon called Enclothed cognition. The finding that what you wear measurably changes cognitive performance and self-perceived competence, not symbolically, but functionally, because the brain treats clothing as part of its identity processing system. A chaotic, undisciplined palette each morning is a small, repeated act of self-doubt. Dozens of micro-decisions, each one slightly eroding your sense of command before you've left the house. A disciplined palette removes the decision entirely. The cognitive load you save isn't trivial. It's the same mental bandwidth that determines how composed you feel walking into the room where it actually counts. Resolve. Build your 5-color palette once, deliberately, and stop redeciding it daily. The confidence isn't a side effect of fewer colors. It's the entire point. But there's one piece left. The one that determines whether a stranger understands you instantly or has to work to figure you out. Not 5. 6 colors force a stranger to solve you. Here is the complete mechanism, and then I'll bring it all together. The human brain processes faces and figures holistically, as a single gestalt, within a fraction of a second. Cognitive psychologists studying visual processing have found that once an outfit crosses roughly 5 distinct color zones, the brain can no longer process it as one coherent image. It switches into sequential processing, scanning piece by piece, the same way it would read an unfamiliar word letter by letter instead of recognizing it instantly. A stranger's brain stops understanding you and starts working you out. I watched this happen at a fundraiser 2 years ago. 2 women, similarly accomplished, one in a 6-color ensemble, the other in 4 tightly related tones. Conversations gravitated toward the second woman within minutes, not because she was better dressed in any obvious sense, but because people could process her instantly and move on to actually talking to her. The complete framework. Limit your full look to 5 colors, ideally 3 to 4. Lower the saturation across all of them. Quiet outperforms loud. Reserve your softest, warmest tone for the 6 inches nearest your jawline. Build the palette once and stop redeciding it each morning. and understand that every piece of this exists so a stranger's brain can move past decoding you and into actually connecting with you. These habits don't just change how people see you, they change how you see yourself. Once you know what to look for, you cannot unsee it. And if you are ready to take everything I teach on this channel and build it into a complete system, the Undeniables Complete System covers this in complete detail. A blueprint for habits, presence, wellness, and longevity science for women who are decided about how they age. Linked in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen. It is for the woman who is no longer waiting. You now understand a rule that's been quietly governing composed, expensive-looking women for 14 centuries, and you have it for free. The next video builds directly on this, because color is only one signal, and I want to give you the rest. Stay subscribed. The women who show up to this channel consistently are the ones who actually change. I'll see you in the next one. Isabel.